Hi, this is Carl Leobson again at the University of Arizona. This is SERP 590 Single Case Research Design. And this is your weekly overview for week 9, students. We are in week 9. I appreciate you sticking it out with me this long. I hope you're learning a lot. I love teaching this class, and I'm learning a lot teaching it to a group that is more BCBAs than I've ever had in a class before. And you guys are easy, right? You bring a lot of skills to this, and I appreciate that. But I hope I'm helping you build some of those skills. And this week, like I've said, we are in the phase of design of the week, and this week's design, you'll learn more skills by learning about multiple baseline designs. So these are designs that you can use to show an experimental effect for your research question if you can't withdraw the intervention. And sometimes it's just preferable over an A/B in any case, but we'll learn more about that. So the objective this week is much like last week. It's to describe whether or not this particular design is appropriate or can be applied to your research question and how. And again, this week, the first thing we'll take a look at learning about multiple baseline designs. So we'll do some reading of the text, and I'll ask you to watch some videos to give you some brief introductions. So just like last week, it may even be more useful for you to watch the videos first, get the brief introduction out of the way, and then you go in and read the book, and you'll get the real fine points. The book is really good at that. Then we will look at some examples of multiple baselines. So like last week, I will give you readings to choose from. And then finally, just like last week, a discussion post formatted in the same way. You guys did a great job on that. Do it again. So let's take a look at the first activity really quickly. So there's one video is about the basic logic of multiple baseline designs, and I will give you a quick hint. It's just like stacking up multiple A/B designs. You do an A/B design, you do another one, you do another one, you just stack them up. Like everything else in single case design, sounds simple, hard to do. A lot to keep in mind when you're actually trying to implement something like that. The second video is about multiple baseline versus multiple probe designs. And you really want to understand the difference in those because moving to the probe version of a multiple baseline can make a real difference. And in a nutshell, that means instead of running a continuous baseline, you probe at sessions and you take a break. That way you don't frustrate your client by continuing to have them demonstrate they can't do something. And it also allows you to watch out for those really nasty threats of history and maturation. Watch the video. I'll explain it. And then after you watch those and you go in and look at the Ledford and Gas text, you can pick more carefully and learn really more about those individual things. And if you have questions about the things that I talked about in the video, look them up in the Ledford and Gas text. It's just fabulous for that. The next thing we do this week is read through examples of multiple baseline designs. This first one by Bach, they use a social behavioral learning strategy for a child with autism spectrum disorder. The second is parent implemented PECS training. I know some of you have research questions that you're working on this semester for your proposal that involve PECS training. So this might be a really good one for you to read. This Narringer article, one of my favorites. It's about improving staff nutritional practices in community-based group homes. basically this person was a trainer for group home staff, and they recognized that it was the group home staff that's responsible for making the nutritional choices for the clients, because the staff are the ones that stock the fridge, and they wanted the staff to make better nutritional choices. And they wanted to demonstrate that their training they provided to the staff was what made it effective. Doing a study like that, guys, if you have training and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to get a grant to implement my training more broadly, having a study like that done and under your belt is gold in going after grants, even if it's just a pilot study. It's not a published study. Okay. Another is self-recording in classroom for students with mild to moderate mental handicaps. That's an old one. That's why they say mental handicaps. There is a study about the effectiveness of contingency-specific and contingency non-specific prompts, which I think some of you might find really interesting, because you're working with language issues and prompting issues. And there is a study by one of my former doctoral students about function-based intervention with very young children with emotional behavioral disorders. And then finally, Janine's teacher, one of the clear lights in our field, and also Nick Gage, the use of structural analysis to develop antecedent-based interventions. And if you want to learn more about that issue of structural analysis, Janine's teacher is the person to learn from. So you may want to take a look at that article if you're interested in the topic of structural analysis. Okay. So read through, skim, look at a few, look at one. Then the final thing we do this week is just like last week. It's a discussion post. Let's see what that's like. Same drill as last week. Start your post with your research question, and then answer the following questions. What new insights did you gain from reading the studies? What did you see that was interesting, weird, useful? And then the second question is, could you adapt and use a multiple baseline design for your study? Tell me if you think it might be a probe or a continuous baseline. Do you think you might do it across subjects, across settings, or across behaviors? Okay. And even, so I want you to just really think carefully about doing this. Even if you say, well, I only got one client, think about the possibility of doing it across behaviors. Think about the possibility of doing it across settings. Or if neither of those, and you say, well, I can't do it across either of those, I'd have to have multiple clients to do it. I just want you to try to think it through, what you would need to do to show an experimental effect. Okay. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. Reach out to me if you need anything. This is week 9. Go get it. See you later.